Welcome to video 6, number 62. Find the value of x. This seems to be a common theme. I could put this on a t-shirt for all geometry teachers. The value of x is going to be, we've got a right angle happening right here. This right angle box right there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take that 90, that full amount, and we're going to subtract off what I've spent on this acute angle. So 90 minus 25. 90 minus 25 is going to give me 65. 65 is the value of x, so I know that I have found what I needed to. All right, for numbers 63 through 65, use this diagram. Which angles are corresponding? Corresponding mean they are going to be, they sit in the same corners. So if you're looking at this like a group of people sitting at a dining room table, and you have another group of people sitting at a round dining room table, corresponding angles sit in the same corner. So who sits in the same spot as angle 1 in the top left? That would be angle 5. So you would say angle 1 and 5, and 2 and 6. 2 and 6, that would be in the top right and top right. 3 and 7, bottom left. And then 4 and 8, angle 4 and angle 8. Those sit in the same spot. So corresponding, my students always remember it with the word corner. They sit in the same corner of that group. Which angles are alternate exterior? So remember, exterior means they're on the outside, alternate exterior. So who'd be alternate exterior to 2? 7. Outside of those parallel lines, angle 2 and 7 on different sides of the transversal, and then also angle 1 and angle 8. Angle 1 and angle 8. Those are alternate exterior. Which ones are same side interior? Which ones are sitting on the same side of the transversal on the inside of those parallel lines? That would be 3 and 5. 3 and 5. Angle 3 and 5. And then angle 4 and 6. And remember that same side interior angles are supplementary. So those would add up to 180 degrees. These would add up to 180 degrees. Okay, for numbers 66 through 68, use the diagram below. Think of each segment as part of a line. So what is the relationship between AC and HF? Here's AC. Here's HF. Are those perpendicular, skew, parallel, intersecting, or none of these? They are facing the same direction and they're never crossing, so those are going to be parallel. Okay? What is the relationship between, which lines are skewed to BF? So here's BF. Skew means they never cross, but they're not parallel, so they're not facing the same way. So DH is parallel, so I'm going to cross that one out. I know it's not that one. CA, that looks skew. It's never going to cross it, but it is not touching it. So let's also check IG again. So I'm thinking it's B. I'm thinking it's going to be B. Never crosses, but is also not facing the same direction. And then CD and GH, let's check CD. Here is CD. That one's skew. It's never ever touching this blue line that I have highlighted. And GH, which is this one, GH pink is not going to be parallel to blue. So since that one is also true, it is going to be B and C. B and C, because B was true and because C was true, it had to be both B and C. So that's a tricky way to ask that question. Which lines are perpendicular to CG? So all using the same picture. It kind of looks like a house. CG, which lines are perpendicular to that? Immediately I see CD, so I know it's that one at least. Immediately I also see CG, so CG, that is here. CA, those are going to be perpendicular as well. Okay, and let's see, so that one's true. GH, let's see. This is number 68. Okay, so CD and CA. Okay, so no, that one is not going to be the case. So GH is not perpendicular, so it's got to be A. HF is also not perpendicular. For it to be perpendicular, it has to actually intersect. GH does not intersect, nor does HF. Okay? All right. Those are skew. So it's got to be A. It can't be any combination of those. It's just got to be A. All right, two angles are supplementary. Two angles, 1 and 2, are supplementary to 3. So if 1 is 85, Then 1 plus 3 is going to be 180 degrees. It's going to be 180. Okay, it says 2 angles are supplementary to 3, meaning that 1 and 3 add up to 180, and 2 and 3 add up to 180. So what we would know is that angle 1 and 2 must be congruent to each other, but both of those blues are supplementary to a yellow. And so a yellow plus a blue, obtuse and an acute, are going to have to add up to 180 degrees. Or it could be a right angle and a right angle. But those add up to 180. Okay, what is the measure of angle 2? If angle 1 is 35 degrees, those are supplementary. Those form a linear pair. So we would do 180 minus 35. 180 minus 35 is 145 degrees. What is the measure of angle 2? I have just found it. Okay. If 3 is 126 degrees, then what is the measure of angle 2? Those are vertical angles, so that would have to be 126 degrees. Those are vertical. Okay. Again, these are vertical in this diagram as well, so we can set 3x plus 2 equal to 13x minus 18. We can do some quick algebra here, and what is the value of x? Solve for the value of x. I just did, so I am done with that problem. Vertical angles are congruent. All right, the next one's a little bit trickier because I have the expressions that have x's in them are the blue ones. The expression that has a y in it is the yellow one. So what is the relationship between the expressions that have blue ones? Those are going to be a linear pair. So I can take 5x plus 2, and I can add it to 3x plus 18, and I can add those up to 180 because they form a straight line. So 8x, let's see, on this one we've got 8x equals 160, so x equals 20. But it says solve for y in the diagram. What I just found was x. So I need to go back and solve for y. So I'm going to plug it into either of these angles. So I could even plug it in here. 5 times 20 is 100. 100 plus 2 is 102 degrees. If that angle is 102, its vertical angle is 102, those bow tie angles. And so I can take 2 times y plus 6, and I can set that equal to 102 degrees. And then just use some distributive property. 2y plus 12 equals 102. So 2y equals 90, and I believe that y is equal to 45. Solve for y, I just did. Okay, we had a question like this earlier. I'm actually hoping it's not the exact same question, but it says in this four-sided figure, what is the value of x? I think that this might be the same question. 7x minus 14 equals 3x plus 2. Apparently, we really like this question. 4x equals 16. What is the value of x? X is 4. If those opposite sides are congruent, we set their expressions equal. Okay, in this diagram, w to x is congruent to y to z. So those two little pieces, I'm going to color code, blue and blue, are congruent. It wants me to find the length of xz. Xz goes from here all the way to here. So what I need to do is I need to know what x is first. So I can take my two expressions, my two segments that are congruent, and set their expressions equal to each other. 5x plus 1 is equal to 11. So 5x is equal to 10. So x is equal to 2. Why does that help me? Because if x is 2, it doesn't say find the length of x. It says find the length of xz. Well, I know that this is 11. I got to figure out what this piece is. So I'm going to do 9 times 2 minus 3, since I know what x is. 18 minus 3 is 15. So 15 plus 11 is 26. I love that question. That is the length of xz equals 26. And that is what I just found. Very good challenge question. Tune in for video 7.